Hello and welcome to a Geodik tutorial. My name is Janine Hilden, I'm an application engineer at Math4Market, and in the following video I will explain to you the basic components of structures in Geodict, voxels and objects. Therefore, we just generate a little structure with GrainGeo. Up here, select Model, GrainGeo. Of course, you can also use any other structure generator from this list to follow this video. Now in the Module section, simply click Generate. Geodict is a voxel-based program. This means structures consist of little cubes, the same way as an image consists of pixels. If using the box or the GPU renderer for the structure, we can see them if we zoom in with the mouse wheel. The individual voxels can be assigned to different materials with different material properties which are needed for simulations. Additionally, the Geodict structure generators create objects as spheres, ellipsoids, fibers, and more. For these objects, we have all the geometric information available from the generation process, like for example, diameter, position, orientation, and many more. This information is called Geodict Analytical Data, short GAD. For this reason, we call them GAD objects. Based on this information, which is stored in the structure file, the structure can be freely rescaled as desired without losing information. Also, these objects can be edited at any time without the need to edit every single voxel. There are many powerful post-processing options only possible with GAD objects, as for example removing overlap or distributing the objects in the domain, to name only two of the various possibilities. This is possible since they can be rotated and shifted without losing information. In the project status on the left-hand side of Geodict, the dot next to the GAD objects shows if GAD information is available. Green means that all sorted voxels in the current structure belong to GAD objects. Red means there are no GAD objects, and yellow means there are GAD objects, but also voxels which are not part of the GAD objects. Additionally, here we have the total number of objects in our grain structure. In Geodict, we can at any time select and edit voxels and GAD objects. Therefore, up here in the toolbar, we have two icons. One to select voxels and one to select GAD objects. Let's say we want to reassign some voxels in a grain. So click the Select Voxels icon and then click on the voxel you want to select. Then we can see here a small blue box around the voxel, and on the right, the voxel selection sidebar unfolded. There, the exact position of the selected voxel is shown, together with its material ID, which is 2 here. If keeping Shift or Control pressed while clicking on the desired voxels in the structure selects multiple voxels. After the desired number of voxels is selected, we can select Reassign Material of selected voxels from the pull-down menu here. Select, for example, ID 4 and click Run. Now the chosen voxels are reassigned to material ID 4. Another possibility would be to change the material of the complete component the voxel belongs to. Just select one voxel and select Flood Fill Component. If we now click Run, all voxels from this component will become material ID 4. A component consists of all connected voxels of raw material ID. Note that the reassigned voxels cause the GAD object dot to become yellow. This means that not all voxels belong to GAD objects anymore. However, editing GAD objects is much more powerful than changing the single voxels. So if we instead click Select GAD objects, the GAD object selection sidebar appears. Now clicking in the structure selects Complete GAD objects. As we did for the voxels, we of course can select more than one by pressing and holding Shift, while left-clicking on the desired objects. In the table, we see the corresponding object ID and the object type. In our structure, we have spheres and ellipsoids. Clicking on Edit Objects allows to change the material, the size, or even the orientation of the selected GAD objects. Let's just change the diameter to 5 micrometer and click Run. Now the ellipsoids and spheres are much smaller than before, and since this command regenerates all GUT objects in the current structure, the GUT dot is green again and all our blue voxels are gone. Maybe we would like to change the material ID of all these objects to ID 6. Just click Change Material ID and they change the color. We could also just delete them by clicking Delete Objects. Now they disappeared. Right-clicking anywhere in the structure opens the context menu. Here we can also select the specified voxel or GUT object and use the options we already saw in the sidebar. Additionally, we can edit the domain. For example, change the domain size to 300 voxels in X and Y direction, and then click Run. Now our structure is embedded with air in X and Y direction, and since the objects are GUT objects, the previously cropped boundary objects can now be seen completely. Here we can also rescale the structure without losing information. Of course, there are also rescaling options for simple voxel structures, but using GUT objects, it is exactly defined where to add voxels. Thus, they can be rescaled with any resolution. Just change the voxel length to 0.5 and change the domain size to 400 for all 3 directions. After clicking Run, we have the same structure as before, but with a much higher resolution, which we can see when zooming in again. This is the end of this video tutorial. I explained the basic structure components in Geodict, objects and voxels to you. If you found this tutorial helpful, please check out our Math the Market channel for more Geodict videos. Goodbye!